So, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of From the Fourth Line. My name's Emma, and I'm joined, as always, by my very lovely co-host, Marcy.
Hello.
I just realized we should have been wearing our Joseph Wool jerseys for the
No,
occasion.
I was so earlier, and I was like, "Oh, I'll join the call in my jersey and be like, I came prepared," and then I forgot because someone decided to talk about reading for 5 fucking minutes.
Okay, it wasn't 5. It wasn't his entire media bill, but we'll talk about Joseph Wool. We will, because we're going to spend our time talking about the Leafs. As always, we're going to talk about the Leafs, but we are going to want to talk about the Leafs, the fact that they're on a 7-game win streak.
Insanity.
They won against the Golden Knights. That was such a fun game to watch.
It was. I've
really extended notes for that game, but now that I'm thinking of all the other stuff we have to talk about, I just want to go over the highlights of John Tavares. John Tavares scored. Good on you, John. So did David Kampf. And offensive powerhouse, Jake McCabe.
I was wondering, I was like, why have I got really short notes for it? And then I was like, why do I not remember this game? I slept through it because it was a 3 a.m. one.
Yeah, you didn't.
That makes so much sense as to why I just don't remember a single thing.
No, but yeah, and if it seems strange about the fact that you're curious as to why I'm calling Jake McCabe an offensive powerhouse, Jake McCabe, career high in goals this season.
Yeah.
We're only 51 games in. He scored 6 this season. That I heard that. So you're rubbing against the mic.
Oops, that was against the camera. It should not have been that loud. I tried to be gentle.
It's fine.
ASMR.
But yeah, so his previous career high is 4. So we've already surpassed that by 2. The last time he scored, I missed it, but which is very interesting. He's 2 points away from a career high in points. Again, also reminder, 51 games into the season. So pop off Jake McCabe, because he's also having a really great season defensively as well.
He is.
Especially since getting paired with Simon Benoit. I don't know. I feel like no one's really talking about Jake McCabe. He's having an underratedly good season for the fact that the Leafs are only paying him $2 million. He's getting another $2 million from Chicago Blackhawks, but a win is a win for us.
Oh yeah, we will take any and all wins that we can get.
Yeah. This was just a dominant game for Toronto. Adin Hill gets pulled in the first period. Because the Leafs score 3 in 10 minutes. They score that first period. They didn't score their first goal until halfway through the period. Jeez. And then they were shooting gallery.
So let's just go for it.
Let's just go for it. Max Domi also scores as well that game. He's having a great run right now as well. I think the whole team. Well, when you win 7 games, your whole team's should be playing well in theory, right? And that's what's happening for Toronto right now. Yeah. And Sheldon Keefe has finally figured out lines that work. I think too as well. Especially within that forward group. And reminder, he's doing this without the versatility of Calle Jarnkrok, who is still out hurt with a broken knuckle. But
yeah,
it's.
I want to know what kind of motivational speech this team has been given.
Yeah, I want to know too. The other thing as well is so did a team was it just watching Morgan Rielly cross-check Ridley Greig to the face, and they're all like, yeah, let's go. Let's run through freaking wall. Yeah. Let's do this. Run.
That's exactly what happened, word for
Let's
word.
effing go. And then they're going on like this crazy win streak. We're going to talk about the historic significance of this win streak, but I do want to get through these two games first. Because Max Domi scores twice in this game as well. Speedy guy. He's fast. And can score goals. It was really funny. There was like this like Sportsnet, I think it was a Sportsnet stats tweet where it was like Max Domi as the first Domi to have a multi-goal game for the Leafs since Ty Domi did it like in 2002. And I was like, I saw that and I was like, really?
Like,
yeah, what's Sportsnet stats? Because it's the exact sort of thing Sportsnet
Really?
stats puts out where you're where it's like, why are you like, yes, you're not wrong, but also who gives like as to opposed to like the 30 other Domies who have played for the Leafs.
it's just like,
And then it was really funny though, because then Ty Domi quote tweeted that Sportsnet stats tweet and said, I told you at Max Domi, I had a few. Which is the most dad thing ever, because I'm sure, it's like Max Domi probably very much remembers his dad scoring goals, right? Grew up around the Leafs organization, but it is just really funny. That's such like a dad thing to do of like, yeah, I told you I was good at told you I just didn't rack up penalty minutes for 20 years.
Yeah, I could do other things.
Also want to talk about like a couple. Yes, Vegas did score 3 goals, including Leafs legend Michael Amadio got a goal because of course there was no Ben Hunt in that game, so unfortunately we couldn't go 2 for 2, but who knows, tomorrow maybe he will be in the lineup. If he is, put that one in. Like, I literally said, it was like, if I honestly at this point I should have bet on a Michael Amadio goal, because I'm sure, like, I don't know what, I'm not a bet, I don't bet though, that's the thing, but like I wonder what the odds were for that.
Like,
I don't know.
It's guaranteed.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Also as well, Pontus Holmberg's goal. Very sexy. I don't know if did you watch the replay of that goal?
Yeah, I watched the highlights on Friday, so it's been a while, but I do remember I was just sat there, I was like, oh my god, my little guy.
And then Austin Matthews, because why not, also has a score, gets some brilliant assists from Holmberg and Marner. Like, at this point, Sheldon Keefe was just playing with his food, because he was like, yeah, let's throw a Holmberg out there with Matthews and Marner.
Why not?
Why not? Marner, with that assist though, passes Matt Sundin for the 3rd most assists in Leafs history. And also had 6 straight multi-assist games.
Mitch.
But yeah, good on Mitch. And then Leafs and Avs, which I guess we'll talk about this game as well, because this one actually was a little bit more stressful. It was a little bit closer. But Tyler Bertuzzi, the birthday boy, gets a hat trick.
Can it please be his birthday every day?
I mean, I tweet about this, but I was like, is the thing to break Tyler Bertuzzi's curse, like to break his bad luck, was it just he had to turn 29? Because It seems like
Just
it.
the age of 28, you are not scoring.
Speaking of
29,
29,
however.
29. Insert that one clip of Schmidt from New Girl going 29. 29.
Oh god.
Mitch Marner also scores as well, extends his multi-point streak to 7 games. Yeah, and to think that the Leafs at one point in this game were down 2-0, and I literally was like, okay, well, 6-game win streak. It was fun. We had a blast. No, Leafs were able to turn it around. Yeah, the 7-game win streak is the longest since 03-04. But in this game against Colorado, Domi reaches 400 career points, Nylander reaches 300 career assists, and Bertuzzi reaches 100 career goals. So hats off to all those guys. I think Mitch also had like some sort of record in there. But Tyler Bertuzzi's hat trick makes him the first Leaf to score a hat trick on his birthday.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Tyler Bertuzzi. I'm honestly just surprised that like that's never happened before.
It's a very Leafy thing to happen.
But also I'm just like, the Leafs have been around for like so long. You're telling me that no one, even when they were all scoring like crazy numbers of goals, just scored a hat trick like on his birthday. Like there was not a single Leaf ever.
It's crazy.
Which is crazy. But yeah, so the 7-game win streak is the longest since 03-04, which by the way, 03, year we were born. I literally was born 10 days before that win streak started. But yeah, I do want to talk about that because we do have a roster from that.
Oh god.
We do have a roster from that game. So, and here's the lineup. 03-04. Just gonna read about in net that game. Ed Belfour, because yeah, that's. I'm sorry. I just like some of the highlights on here is like Aki Berg, Ty Domi, Thomas Caberlet, Brian Marchment, who is Mason Marchment's dad, Brian McCabe, no relation to Jake McCabe, Joe Nieuwendyk. Remember Joe Nieuwendyk on the league? Like Owen Nolan, Matt Stajan, Matt Sundin, Darcy Tucker, Gary Roberts. Oh my, like Nathan Perot, Karel Pilar, Alexei Ponikarofsky, Robert Reichel, Mikhail Renberg, like
just absolute what?
Like what?
What a time.
Okay. Like that's the thing where it's like you look at it, and also fun fact, 03-04 is also last time the Leafs won a playoff round prior to last season. Is it a sign? Who knows? They did lose in the second round to Philadelphia, however, but yes. 19. We've broken the 19-year curse. What's it going for the cup? We're so back though. But like, if you would have looked at the team at the start of the season, would you have said, oh yeah, they can go, like without being delusional about it? But then also looking at the circumstances that the Leafs are facing, where Samsonov was, you couldn't trust Samsonov with a game. Joseph Wool is what you had, but like now Joseph Wool's hurt. Like, the team wasn't clicking. Like, you know what I mean? Like the defense just felt bad. No one besides Austin Matthews was scoring. But
and now look at us.
Now look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought?
Look at us go.
Look at us go. Look at the Leafs. It is really exciting though to watch them like do this, because they seem to also like have an absolute blast as well, which is of course, you know, as they should. Winning is fun. Love winning.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun to win. Leafs have the opportunity to extend this win streak to 8. Tomorrow night against Vegas. Taking on Vegas again. Leafs. So now it's time we talk about some not off ice, but some not in game, some out of game stuff. Leafs returned Max Lajoie yesterday to the Marlies, so they have enough roster spots to bring back Woll, Giordano, and Yarncroke. Joseph Woll also on Friday started with the Marlies in a conditioning in the one and only game of his conditioning stint versus Laval. Stopped 36 of 37 shots, including 20 shots alone in the second period. It was also a very physical game from Laval. There was that one net front scrum where he literally was like piled onto, and he deserved to kick someone again.
The stress I felt. I was like, I think let's put this into perspective. I was not sober watching this at all. So when I saw everyone just like pile on top of him, do you understand how close I genuinely came to a heart attack?
Oh, I can imagine.
Like, oh, and as well, I'd lost track of time. I didn't realize that it was nearly midnight. I didn't realize the game was about to start. I did, however, as soon as I found out, send voice messages to my mum, in which I yelled to her about how Joseph Woll is back. And I've not listened back to them, but she said I was very happy to save my Leafs.
Oh, Lindsay.
Oh, Lindsay.
Love you, Lindsay. Yeah, so obviously the biggest news of today is that Joseph Woll has returned. Returned to Leafs. He's been returned from his conditioning stint from the Marlies. He hasn't officially been he hasn't like officially been removed from LTIR, but he was at practice today and did do a media availability in which the Leafs media for the second time in like 2 weeks asked him about what hobbies he's been up to while he's been injured. And I get it, like, you know, there's only so many questions you can ask a guy who's hurt. But also at the same time, I know they're all like, okay, tell us about the Lego, Joseph. Joseph, we can't outright ask you about the Lego, but like expand on the Lego.
The people
I do want to know. I do want to know if he's finished the Star Wars AT-AT set that he bought over the summer. Like, that's what I want to know. That's my burning question for Joseph Woll. If I get one question.
Joe, please tell us. Maybe like drop a Lego tour.
Well, absolutely. He should just like show, like, just like take a picture of it and like show it.
For the Lego apartment tour, I want to be nosy about his interior design choices. There's only so much I can get from that one interview he did in like
the one, and then also
August.
The video of him playing the Interstellar theme that he posted to his Instagram. He did say that he would use his Instagram to showcase some more of his music. It was really funny that they did ask him, do you know any other songs on the piano besides the one that we've seen you play 3 times over the course of 4 years?
Let go live. If he wants to play the same song 3 times a day, every day for the rest of his life, let him.
It is really funny though, that he did say that he was like, oh, like, it is really funny. It's like the same sort of vibes as the guy, like, when at a party who, like, every time he manages to produce a guitar from somewhere and only knows either Stairway to Heaven or Wonderwall by Oasis, but doesn't know both. You either know Stairway to Heaven or you know Wonderwall. And we'll play that at every single party.
Oh, God.
And that is Joseph Woll.
Joseph. Oh, Joseph.
I want, like, you know, they have those like pianos in airports. I wonder if he ever uses those.
He
They're
is.
everywhere.
He so does.
They're everywhere in Europe. I will say. I wonder if on his little like
No, like
escapade through the Swiss Alps, he
no, like
is like at an
I-
airport.
there's one in one of the buildings at my uni. It's like I'll be walking on one of my lectures and someone's just sat there like playing music, like, and I'm like, it is not even 9 a.m. and you just sat at a little piano in a fucking university building, just like going for it. I want to invite him and just be like, Joseph, will you play on the piano in the corner of my uni building, please?
Before 9 a.m. because he would be that guy.
Oh, he would. He absolutely would.
But you know that one plot in Glee where they introduced like the purple pianos, and it's like.
Oh god.
And then there's the one time in the cafeteria. Is that the same episode where they sing about the tater tots?
I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been
since
so
I've
long
watched
since I've seen Glee, besides in like my favorite like funny clips from Glee or like out of pocket Glee scenes or whatever. Like, but
Yeah.
I haven't watched the show since middle school in its entire like all the way through start to finish. So all of the plots just get melded into, but I do remember the one time where they were trying to save the tater tots from the cafeteria, which is very, very real. I love tater tots. So then there's also the purple pianos that end up all getting smashed by the end of that one episode. Literally, they have 3 purple pianos and they show them smashing 3 separate pianos through the course of one episode.
I want to.
And then there's the puppets.
What is Glee? What?
What is Glee?
That's my burning question of the night. What is Glee?
It is Glee. But then do you remember, did you ever watch Glee?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I was a theatre kid.
Of course.
I was a drama kid.
Of course you watched Glee. Do you remember the episode? Remember the episode where Blaine sits in that back corner of the Glee room because he's mad at Tina and Artie and Sam for something involving their graduation, and then there's a gas leak, and he has a gas leak induced where everyone turns into like Muppet style puppets.
Oh.
And then they all are singing, and then at one point they sing "Roar" by Katy Perry. Or no, is it "Roar" by? Is it the "What Does the Fox Say"? I think it was both that episode.
Yeah, I can't remember. Oh my, that is throwing me.
And then it gets to the point where he ends up making the puppets, and then mailing them to the characters who are living in New York. Can you imagine opening a box that is sent to you by someone you were in a high school Glee club with, and inside is Muppet style puppets of you?
You know, I'd actually kind of like love that in a weirdly unsettling way.
It's like serial killer behavior.
I'd be like, okay, could this be an episode of Criminal Minds? Yes. But do I also love it?
I think it was. Yeah. Remember the marionette episode?
Ooh,
the episode where one of the serial killers was obsessed with making. Yeah, there's this one episode of Criminal Minds where the serial the unsub this was like making people into like living marionettes, breaking all of their bones and then tying strings to their limbs and then making them dance on a stage. That was an episode.
That freaks me out so much.
And that is not the most fucked up episode on that show too. That's the thing.
By far.
It gets worse.
I have currently rewatching Criminal Minds as well. So it's like every time I like walk downstairs and like going to the kitchen, they're all just like sat on the sofa, just like like typing or just like doing the work and like writing essays with just like Criminal Minds in the background. And I'm like, you know what? Real, if I wouldn't just sit there and just like give up on my work and watch it, I would join them.
Yeah.
But no.
I will say that one episode of Glee with the Muppet style puppets influenced my life more than it should have. It had an influential impact on my life because it got to the point. One, it's my it in middle school. My I was like I was watching Glee in middle school, and my science classroom had gas leak, and I was like, and I could have just, but I was like, no, I'm gonna be annoying and I'm gonna say something about it. Just like it's like that one episode in Glee.
Is it bad that I don't mean this in a mean way, but that doesn't surprise me.
I was that annoying person in middle school. And then also as well, another way is that for a grade 8 English assignment, grade 11 English assignment wasn't grade 8. Grade 8 we read Hamlet. Grade 11 we read Macbeth, and we had to then present a scene to the class, like read it out and then present it, and then present analysis of it and like how it relates to like the rest of the play and like means for the play and blah 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 blah. Like analyze Shakespeare as one does in high school English, right? I don't know how we're supposed to like continue recording the podcast. Anyways, if we get a certain amount of likes on some tweet or something, maybe we'll just record. We'll release our reaction.
I'm gonna when you like
I'm at
go
least
into
gonna
it,
clip.
can you clip our reactions and just send me it? Because
I will. I need. Anyways, like I was why oh my god, what was I talking? I was talking about fucking Glee.
That's just a glimpse of what it's gonna be like in the summer. Just us spending 10 minutes talking about fucking Glee.
And Muppets. Look, we have like other stuff to get through this episode. Like I have a lot I want to talk about. I've like still like a page and a bit left of like a page and a half left of notes.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, Joseph Bull is back.
Oh my god.
I will say it's like the Leafs forward group, the Leafs forward group, the Leafs forward group, it's so good right now, and you still are missing Calle Yarncrook, which is like maybe your most versatile bottom 9 forward. You wouldn't necessarily play him on the top line, but like, where do you slot him in now? Where do you put him? Because
it's like
you don't really. Everyone has a pretty like. You don't want to mess up right now. Like I know he's still like week. Sheldon Keefe said today that he's still week to returning. They're going to reevaluate him next week to see if he's good to return to practice, right? But does he slot in with you don't want to mess up Nylander, Domi, Bertuzzi right now because that line is so good. That line is so good right now. You don't want to mess with. Do you want to mess with Tavares, McMahon, Robertson? Like they're producing. I would love. You know what a line I would love to see, and it unfortunately comes with a Robertson demotion, but only just because Yarncroke currently plays on the right side, and you have like a pretty good left winger McMahon. But like you could alternate through Robertson and McMahon depending on who's running hot. Is a third line of Tavares, Yarncroke, and Robertson or McMahon.
Yeah. I
saw someone put Yarncroke on the 4th line with Kampf and Holmberg.
Promoted to the 4th line, blah, but I see how it is.
I know, right? But like that's the thing. It's like, where do you put him? Because you don't want to mess with anything that's working so well right now. And that's like, anyway, Sheldon Keefe is gonna have a fun time with that. We'll see where it is. totally. Anyways, oh my god. Anyways, you gotta stop reposting things about him. Anyways. So, but yeah, let's talk about Jamie Drysdale though. Unfortunately, he has not been traded again, so there's that. But last night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, he is listed as day-to-day officially by ESPN, but there's been no really update on him yet from Philadelphia. After leaving Sunday's game versus Pittsburgh with an apparent shoulder injury, I say apparent because he landed on his shoulder and his shoulder was hanging and loose and looked dislocated when he left the game. It was the same shoulder that Drysdale tore in 2022 that required him to miss most of that season and was what caused him to be slow to return to play this season. So it's unfortunate if he does miss more time because he's hurt, and if it is something serious or if it's just a dislocation, or it could be his collarbone. Like you don't know. There's a lot in that area that could cause your arm to, hang limp like that. But it's weird to say that a dislocation would be the best sort of solution.
Yeah, little Jim Jam.
Jim Jam. It's unfortunate. Feel bad for him. New team and still old injuries.
Bless him.
But let's talk about better story though, a happier story. Buffalo Sabres. No, we were not paid off by Cal. Cal, this is for you. Buffalo Sabres, they beat Carolina last night in a shootout, and I do want to highlight this game because this was actually there wasn't a Leafs game last night, so we're going to talk about this game, but I do want to talk about this game because it is such a turnaround for the Leafs, not Leafs, yes, Leafs, but also for the Sabres. Holy, I don't know where my brain is. It is still
watching the Blue Room.
Yeah, actually, probably. Sabres beat the Hurricanes in a shootout last night. 3-2. Goals from Jeff Skinner. Yay. What up, Jeff Skinner? And Owen Power in his return to the lineup from injury. Good on you, 6'6" Owen Power. Large child. Also, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen stopped 30 of 32 shots, including, and then also on top of that, going 4 for 4 during the shootout in saves. The first Sabres goalie to make 4 more saves and allow no goals in a shootout since Jonas Enroth, who did it November 29th, 2014. Enroth and Ryan Miller are the only other Sabres goalies to accomplish such a feat. Ryan Miller did it 4 times in his time with the Sabres. Sabres are 6-4-0 in their last 10 games, but they are currently on a 3-game win streak, which, fun fact, I looked this up because I was like, 3-game win streak. Good on you, Buffalo. It is their longest win streak of the season. They do have a pretty tough schedule coming up, facing a lot of Atlantic. I think they play like Panthers, Vegas, Tampa, Leafs in like the next few games. So it's a tough stretch coming up for them with some hot competition. But I do think, the vibes are good right now in Buffalo. I will say.
The vibes are really good in Buffalo.
The vibe, besides the fact that Jeff Skinner left practice early today for
No. Zip. I don't want to hear it. No.
But also as well, I do want to highlight some. Where you sent me a tweet? You sent it to me, or did you retweet it? I gotta scroll back through. I think you retweeted it. It was the Luukkonen one. Was that a retweet, or did that get sent to me?
I retweeted it. Definitely.
You retweet. Okay, here it is. Yeah, I saw it at some point from you. So, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in his last 10 games. Which, by the way, if you don't say his full name every time, shame on you, because it is so fun to say. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. It just rolls off the tongue. It actually does.
It does. It's like everyone always freaks out. It's like, oh, it's such a long, complicated name, and I'm like, it's not.
It's very phonic.
Like
Ukko
it,
Pekka Luukkonen.
yeah, it's like you just bam.
I understand for the sake of Twitter characters shortening it
Yeah.
because you only get so many characters in tweet.
Yeah.
So like I get, but like say the whole name because it's so fun. Have fun with it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen in his last 10 games has a 2.11 games allowed, not games, goals against average, has a 0.926 save percentage, one shutout versus the LA Kings, a 6-4 record, which is also the Sabres record, 266 saves with 21 goals allowed. I think he is Buffalo's #1 goaltender for sure. Absolutely. That is what the tweet says. And I agree with that. I think the Buffalo Sabres are going to be such a, like, and I think people expected them to, you know, make the push this year. I think it's just 1 year too soon. I think next season, if not next season, the season after, Buffalo is going to be, and if they make the right moves to add certain pieces to their lineup and really like not blow the whole thing, and like just in the right places, you know what I mean? Be like critical about where they add to their lineup. I think they have like a really good chance of being a really good team and like will become a playoff team in a couple, like if not next year, the season after, because I think with Luukkonen and the way that he's playing, you've got guys like Jeff Skinner who is scoring like no other. You have guys like Tage Thompson, I think, will find his groove a little bit more than he has this season. He's still young. Yeah. Well, actually, he's not that young. I always said he's still young. He's like weird. Like I keep thinking he's younger than he actually is. I think he's only like, if he's not the same age as Austin Matthews, he's a year younger. Yeah, he's 26. So he's a 97. So he is same age as, or a year younger than Austin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Austin Matthews is, oh no, same age as Austin Matthews. But yeah, so like again, no one's gonna be Austin Matthews, but still 27, and you see guys like Zach Hyman and hit their stride later, and late bloomers are totally a thing in the NHL. And Tage Thompson has had to deal with injuries, but like, you know, you still got some fun young pieces, and like Rasmus Dahlin is so fun to watch.
So fun.
He's an all-star for a reason, but he's so fun to watch. And like you got guys like Owen Power and things like that. So I think, I don't know. I'm like, Buffalo's like one of those teams where it's like if they're going to be a fun team to watch. And I think sometimes people just have to pick fun teams to watch.
Yeah.
And I'd keep my eye on Buffalo, especially within the Atlantic, for sure. I could almost see Buffalo jumping past like Tampa in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it is looking really good for them.
Yeah. And Tampa's getting older.
You
know? Yeah. Also as well, I don't know. Now I just have a couple of like mixed bag. Like I wanted to talk about these because it's happening on Twitter, and we do exist on Twitter.
Yeah.
More often than we'd like to admit.
Yeah.
I don't know where to start, if I want to start with Matt Rempe or if I want to start with everyone's hot NHLer threads. Pick one.
We'll do Matt Rempe.
Matt Rempe, okay. It's so funny because if you try to get someone who had never doesn't know nothing about hockey, and you were to just let them loose on hockey Twitter and be like, good luck, try to learn about the games, they would think that Matt Rempe is like better than, is like the next, is like this huge player who's this massive name in the sport, is like bigger than Connor McDavid and how well known he is and all these things, right? By the way that people have been talking about him in the last week. The kid, I say about someone who is a year older than me, made his NHL debut in the Stadium Series versus the New York Islanders. In his first shift, he fought Leafs legend Matt Martin.
Leafs legend.
And then his next game had, I would say, not the cleanest hit. It wasn't a great. It was a big hit. Was it necessarily a good hit? Not really. On Nathan Bastian versus the New Jersey Devils. Fought. He has 4 fights in 5 games. Scored his first. He has scored a goal and logged an assist, and in 5 games, has logged 32 penalty minutes.
That's actually insane.
Also as well, this kid, absolutely massive, is 6'7", 241 pounds. Holy crap. That's a big boy. I know we talk about like Austin Matthews and like Matthew Nyes being like big boys. That's a big boy. For reference, because Paige Thompson also notably is also 6'7", right?
Yeah.
Also, oh well, he's 6'6". An inch makes something. Weighs 220 pounds. Owen Power is 6'7" though, right?
Yeah, I think so. They're all like close.
No, he's 6'6", but close enough. He's 218. So yeah, but like big. I do like but like that they. So I will say though, like about just the number of penalty minutes and like stat and fights that Matt Rempe has logged since his debut. I think hockey Twitter's all mad because he keeps fighting guys, and people have to understand that like a fight in a hockey game is consensual. Like both sides are saying yes when they drop the gloves. So it's not like guys are like, it's not like Matt Rempe is jumping guys and taking guys like by surprise and fighting them because he just wants to smash faces in and doesn't really care. He probably cares. And also, you know, the guys who are fighting them do see him as 6'7", 240 pounds and like, whoa, this is a big guy. Because I don't think he's fought anyone who's his height yet.
No.
So they're all looking up at him, which like my cousin's boyfriend's 6'8", so I have a very good reference on what 6'7" is in a person, and you are looking up at them and they are ducking through doorways.
Huge.
Huge individual. But yeah, so, and they're saying yes. So when he eventually.
The thing about it is everyone on Twitter is getting mad about it for the wrong reasons. They shouldn't be mad about the fact that, oh, like, he's going out there and he's like getting into loads of fights this early in his career. They should be not mad, but just worried about the fact that this is gonna have a huge impact on his physical health.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
and like people seem to like completely forget about the fact that this is gonna like have a massive effect on him.
Yeah, like if he keeps up this fighting pace, that's such a weird thing to say. If he keeps up this fighting pace, like there's a reason why traditional enforcers are an outdated role in the NHL. Why you don't see a lot of true enforcers like we saw in the late 80s through the 90s, early 2000s. There's a reason why we don't see them very much anymore. And like you could have guys who are annoying, but they have skill to go with how annoying they are. Like, for example, like the Kachucks. They're annoying. They'll fight you, but they also can score goals. Right? Yeah. And there used to be a time in the NHL, and there used to be a time in hockey in general, but specifically in the NHL, where guys would get told, if you wanted to stay in the lineup, you have to be willing to fight. And that's how guys would keep their jobs, is because they would be the ones to fight. And there was a really, I wish I did more research and just remembering if it was W5 or the Fifth Estate, which for those who aren't Canadian, they're both investigative journalism TV programs in which they pull up and do things, and they have done multiple between the two of them, between W5 and between the Fifth Estate. I think they're geo-blocked only in Canada, but if you do have a VPN and you don't live in Canada, you can watch these on YouTube. They have like the full episodes that they've done on NHL players who were enforcers. That was just the name of their role in the NHL and on their teams was enforcers. And it's about either them or their families talking about the effects that CTE and their time in fighting and hockey had led them to their life. And it's just really sobering to watch. And I think also it's like, if you can't access those or you can't find them, just go watch Concussion, the movie Concussion with Will Smith, which has a more of a focus on football, but same concept, because it talks about CTE. And it's a thing where it's like, you can see that it's definitely like being Matt Rempe and his style of play is adding energy to the Rangers locker room, and the guys on the Rangers really do support him, and like not support him, but like are behind him, and like they're excited and they're all fired up and they're playing really well as well right now. Like I don't want to say they've won all their games, but they've done a really good job, and I know that because Shesterkin is my. They've had a good few. I know this because Igor Shesterkin is my fantasy goalie. They lost last night against Columbus, but I think they won all of their other previous games. I'm trying to find those right now. It's a slow process. I'm sorry. I should not have been doing this. Again, this is something where I like wrote it down. Yeah, they won like 3 of the last 4 games. So obviously it's working in that locker room. I will say at some point, I'm sure, like, because there's a lot of people who are like, oh, someone should pull this kid aside and like tell him to stop fighting. And I'm sure there is someone, if the Rangers are a respectable organization, which you don't always know is the truth in the NHL, but there's probably someone on that coaching staff, maybe it's, Pierre Laviolette himself, who's pulling Matt Rempe aside and being like, hey buddy, like, love how much you've been willing to like go to battle for this team, but you're gonna have to like calm it down with the fighting. Okay, like for your own sake.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's like, obviously, like, he plays hockey, he's grown up playing hockey, he's grown up around it, he knows what this could do to him physically. But it's like, at the same time, I just think, like, okay, I'm all for a good fight, and I'm all, like, I love a good fight every now and then.
No,
but, like,
absolutely.
at what point does it become just unnecessary?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like definitely where it's a thing where it's like hockey, like fighting in hockey, like as much as there's people who want to take it out of the game, and I can see their argument behind taking it out of the game, it's player safety, it's player health. Having fights be legal in the NHL is kind of what separates the NHL and like hockey in general from basically every other sport besides actual fighting, like boxing and MMA, and like actual fighting, like is the fights. And I remember when I was a kid, like my parents would take me and my sister to hockey games all the time, or we'd watch hockey all the time on TV. And whenever there would be a fight, my parents would reach across and reach across and cover me and my sister's eyes. And I can remember trying to like claw at their hand and get it away from my face so that I can look and be like, I want to watch the fight. Let me see them fight. And my parents were like, nope. And I don't think it was until I was like 10 or like 9 or 10 or something till they like stopped doing that. They like stopped covering my eyes during like NHL fights. But it was like it's a memory I have. It's a very vivid memory I have of like going to hockey games with my parents or like even watching them on TV at home. And if there's a fight, eyes get covered. But I do want to say like this is kind of a message, and I'm not going to generalize towards Devils fans in general on Twitter, but it's just that's who I see it coming the most from. In fact, like I didn't see it coming from Flyers fans. I didn't see it coming from Islanders fans either. I think in fact Islanders fans were kind of like, yeah. When like he fought Matt Martin in his first shift, they were like, yeah, okay. Like
I see you.
Good on the kid. Right? And because it's like kind of a baller thing to do, like first NHL game stadium series to go out and fight a veteran like Matt Martin, which I think the Leafs and the Rangers are done their season series, right? Am I correct in saying that?
No,
they don't.
So.
They play them Saturday. Saturday this week. New York Rangers. Matt Martin Matt Rempe prepared to face the wrath of Matt Martin's child, Mitch Martin.
Could you imagine?
Sub 200 pounds, 5'11", because he's admitted to being 5'11" and then like round me up to 6'1". Yeah. Mitch Martin coming flying at this.
You raise me that. I raise you. Matt Rempe, Nick Robertson.
No, that's the world's biggest mismatch. He's like 5'9". He has the shortest sleeve.
Matt Rempe, Joseph Woll.
No, the thing. Goalie fight. No, it'll be like. Watch it be like Max Domi trying it.
Oh.
Who is on the shorter side? That's the thing. That's the one where I'm like, he's like he's on the shorter side. I mean anyone's on the shorter side compared to 6'7". But like, or like Benoit. Benoit's taller though. Benoit's over 6 foot. But
I'd love to see Benoit fighting.
Like that's the thing where it's like we say we love fight. Like yes, fights moderation. On one person, good, okay, whatever. Like you can't be like, oh no, I don't think you could ever take fighting out of the NHL and have it work. Yeah. Like you have to look at this way, like
part of the game.
The NHL and changing rules, it is embedded, and you can be like, well, that's just like you have to change hockey culture in order to do it. I'm like, it's embedded into the sport at this point. You can't like there's leagues that you don't have it, whatever, but it's like you look at how the NHL changes rules, and it's like things like helmet at warm-ups. Players get grandfathered in. So then you have a bunch of players who still don't do it because they got grandfathered in that they don't have to and not pay a fine. Yeah. Or you have no face shields. Right? You have to have a face shield now. Except if you get grandfathered in because you were playing before that rule got in place. You have guys like Ryan Reeves and Ryan O'Reilly who don't wear one because they don't want to because they didn't. And then the rule changed and they're like, I'm still not going to.
Yeah. It's like,
right? So it's like the NHL is not very good at going cold turkey with a rule change.
No.
Unless it's 3-on-3, 5-minute OT. But anyways, also as well, like I want to say for like the people on Twitter who are like talking about his sister, shut up about his sister. Yeah. Leave them alone. Like this is where I'm like, Twitter, you have to stop. Like if a player does what you don't like on the ice, don't go after them in any part of their life off the ice. Like you can call them a shit player all you want, whatever. Okay, you can be like, oh, you suck at hockey. Nah, whatever. Like I say that about our own team all the time.
Yeah.
like okay, I don't care. But like the minute you go after someone off in like their personal life, and you insult their family, and like before you, like there's going to be people who are going to be like, it was just a joke. Very much was not.
Was it though?
If it was not, it was very much not a joke. And I think the people knew that because of their reaction to getting called out on it, knew they were in the wrong. Don't do it. Like, yes, and then I'm not saying this is just Devils fans. I'm saying I saw primarily from Devils fans. I think it was mostly just because of the hit on Nate Bastian, which, like,
Yeah.
yes, it wasn't a good hit, but also at the same time, that doesn't warrant going after someone's personal life. Yeah, like Nathan Bastian didn't get hurt on the play. There was no injury
Yeah.
there. It just wasn't a good hit, which that happens every single game in the NHL. There's bad hits
Yeah, like,
every single night. And like siblings can be close. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
You're allowed to touch your sibling, by the way. That's something that's allowed. You can
like,
touch them.
I saw some
You're-
people being like, oh, but like they're hugging in a weird way, and I'm like, I don't want to sound like a bitch when I say this, but like, I'm sorry that your family don't like you.
Like, I'm sorry that you're an only child, so you have never experienced what it's
Yeah.
like to have a sibling, or two, your family just like doesn't love you because
Yeah, like
I
that's
don't know, like
my bad. Oops, I guess. Sorry about that.
I don't have a brother, but I have a ton, like I have a bunch of friends of mine who do have brothers,
Mm.
or do have like siblings in the office. I have a sister, but it's like at the same time, like I come home from like being away at school and I like walk into her room and she's always in bed, even if it's like 4 o'clock
Yeah.
on a Thursday, right? Because she just like does most of her work from bed. And I'll literally straight up belly flop on top of her and I'll lay there
Same.
on top of her
It's like, I
until
do the
she
exact
yells at
same thing with
me
my sister, and it's like,
to get off. And like we still don't like we don't have the most like touchy feely relationship. You know what I mean? Like it's like
yeah. But it's like I
we're
will
just both
still
individuals who like
like.
yeah, we're just both people who like individuals who like our own personal space. But it's at the same time like it's like, yeah, I'll hug my sister because she's my sister. Like
I'm sorry that my family like each other and yours don't, but like that's not my problem and that's not Matt Rempe's problem either. So, cut.
yeah, and also as well, it's like Matt Rempe, like him and his sister, his dad died when he was 16, so obviously that'll have an impact on like a sibling relationship and make them closer
Massively.
because that's what happens.
Yeah.
Like again, sorry your family, and not that we're just like I don't know. It's like one of those things where I saw it and I was like, the poor kid, like leave him alone. Like
bro just wants to like skate around and have fun.
yeah, and he definitely will
with his
settle. Like
family.
he is, yeah, and he's overeager as a call-up, and he definitely will settle down eventually. Now I want to talk about everyone on hockey Twitter doing their like their insert multiple of 5 hottest NHLers, and I'm not going to say my own. I don't have a list prepared, but what I will say is that I didn't even know that you could name 30 current NHLers who you found attractive. I think that's a feat that's impressive in of itself. But I do want to say, hey, throw some retired guys in there. Throw some old NHLers. It's okay. We do it all the time with celebrities of like, hey, so-and-so was really hot when they were younger. The 90s especially were full of hot players. There were look at any roster picture from the Red Wings in the 90s when they were winning all those cups. Sexy. But like that's like literally like look up a picture of like young Brendan Shanahan.
Like I'm not saying I would, but
My parents, like we have to kind of keep it like somewhat tame because my parents listen to the show.
Hi mom, hi dad.
But
I'm
like
in a PG way.
have some creativity. Like throw Tim Horton in there.
Yeah.
Have you looked
It's
at a
like-
picture of Tim Horton?
I'd hold his hand in a PG family friendly way. And also, my thing is, every single list I see, it's like the same guys over and over again, and I'm
Oh
like,
my god, yeah.
give me the slightly weird looking ones. Give me the little scrunkly fourth liners that no one's ever heard of because I love them. Like,
Oh, exactly. Like
give me the little guys.
Sergei Fedorov.
Gorgeous.
Like, have you guys ever like looked at a picture of like a young Sergei Fedorov?
Like, yes, please.
He had like some really nice hair some years.
Like, just.
I'm just saying, have some creativity with it. I would like someone to make a list where it is just specific pictures of old NHLers. And they're like, look at all these hot old guys that are definitely like really old now. But like, I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm sorry, the only other like old hockey player that I could think of is like George Armstrong. Was Red Kelly hot? Not really. I'm like trying to think of like who. There was definitely some like old Leafs where I'm like, yeah. Ooh, why does Dick Duff look really good in his headshot? I'm just saying, have some fun. I'm just saying, have some fun with it. I want to see people do it because like we do it all the time with celebrities where we're like, hey, look at this picture of like, I don't know, Katharine Hepburn. She's really hot. Or like,
Yeah.
in
It's like, hey, girl.
or like specifically, Gregory Peck in To Kill a Mockingbird with the glasses. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
See, exactly. Like that's the thing, where it's like, look at like we do this all the time with celebrities. We're like, look at this like one picture of like, or like not this one picture, but like look at this old celebrity that's like very much. Is Gregory Peck dead?
Old.
Yeah, he is dead. Okay.
Oh.
2003, he died. Like
last time released with a 7-game win streak.
It like look at this picture of like Gregory Peck. Yes, he is dead now, but like he was really hot here. Can we do this with NHLers, please? I would love someone take the initiative. And like if you really love your old NHLers, like go through and put together any era. You can pick some current ones if you'd like to, but I do think I'm like, you know, pick a man, not to sound like Don Cherry, but like pick a real man, pick a real hockey man. No, I'm not gonna not to say that I feel like if I bring up Don Cherry and not to sound like him, I can go down a really dangerous hole really, really quickly. But like, because there's a reason why he got fired from Hockey Night in Canada and Coach's Corner. But that I don't want to align with. I don't align myself with his views, but I still did grow up watching hockey in Canada and therefore remember him always talking about, you know, the peak, the golden years of hockey where everyone was a real man and played hockey like a man would. And it usually then was like followed up by like complaining about whatever rookie was able to do like a cool trick shot and have been like, this is dumb. I don't know.
Yeah. Sums it up.
But yeah. That's what I wanted to say because that's what I was thinking of when I was seeing everybody post their like hot NHLers thread. I was like, okay, so it's all just like guys who are playing now. And like no one's putting in like Sergei Fedorov or like Tim Horton. Sorry, I thought Tim Horton was hot.
Test.
You're judging me for that one now, but
no, I see it. I understand it. Do I respect it? That's debatable.
Remember what he brought to you, which is waffle fries.
You
didn't bring me waffle fries.
Thank you, Tim Horton, for bringing me waffle fries. Personally, he hand delivers them every time I ask for them.
So you're admitting ghosts are real.
Get me my own Blue Room episode right now.
Oh God. But yeah, I think I'm trying to like think of like how much time of this episode was taken out from us reacting to the Joseph Wool Blue Room video that dropped mid-recording. That if I'll tweet something out where it's like if this gets a certain amount of likes, I'll drop the tape.
No.
Drop the
The thing
footage.
is, if I'd have known that they were dropping the Blue Room tonight, I would like have made some sort of attempt to not look like an actual dead Victorian child. Like they could have given me like some kind of warning, but no, just like randomly, just just a small room.
I don't know. But I do think if that in that case, okay, but I did call it though.
You did, and
I did say I was like, notice I was like, it's been a week since they've like released a Blue Room. Watch them drop it. Watch them drop the Joseph Wool Blue Room video like when he is coming back from injury.
No, because like, how did I respond to you saying that?
I don't remember.
Oh. It was something I don't think I can actually say. I called you sick and twisted. I said the podcast was cancelled.
Well,
I said my other reply, and then just upon reflection, that was a bit of an extreme reaction. No, it wasn't. I'm kind of mad that they didn't make him just sit and
react. They pulled up every time we called Joseph Wool a princess.
Work your way through this. Work your way through this person's Twitter account, and he just sits there and just becomes like more and more traumatized every single tweet he sees. Like he starts off with like, "Oh, they're happy I'm back," and it ends in like, "Help."
Oh, this is a call for help.
Blink twice if you need help. Oh dear me.
But yeah. Without further ado, I think I don't know. I'm trying to like figure out if when I cut that part out, will it still be long enough for an episode? I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to bring up specifically on the back end of this episode.
I don't think my brain is functioning enough yet.
No, because the thing is like the problem is we were going and we were going well. I was talking a lot about Glee.
And then this happens.
And then this happens and totally gets derailed. I'm trying to just remember, like, I was like, I want to make sure that I mention everything that I was going to say, because I definitely feel like I wanted to say something, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah. Oh, yeah. Pittsburgh traded Alex Nylander.
They did.
To Columbus, which I think is like the most petty X thing that Kyle Dubas could ever do to William Nylander, besides like on top of making his brother drive back and forth across the state of Pennsylvania, he then ships him off to, of all places, Ohio.
Which you do.
I will say Cleveland, lovely city. I have been to Cleveland. It's quite nice. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There's some cool stuff in there. A lot of Beatles memorabilia. Fun. They've got Progressive Field Park is a progressive field, which is where the Cleveland Guardians play. Very nice baseball diamond. You've got the Cavaliers, which, you know what? Don't hate them as much as I did before the Raptors won their championship. And they also have a football team, I think. Like an American football team. But the cool thing is, and I don't know if it's still there, but when it was there, when I went in like 2019, they had this giant stamp, this like big, huge stamp that's like taller than you as a like it's huge. It's like 2 stories tall, and it says free on it. and it was supposed to be like an art installation in the middle of this park in downtown Cleveland.
Ooh.
Very, very cool. But yeah, that's all I've got to I'm not even talking about Columbus. But that is my only experience with the state of Ohio, is just the city of Cleveland. So
Yeah, I have never been.
you're not missing out on much.
No.
Like I
feel like
wouldn't
there's
dedicate
better
I
places
wouldn't
to go.
dedicate a trip to it unless you really wanted to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I said I've been to America once, and that was when I was like 10. We went to Florida.
What is
because
nice.
I got some really cheap Converse. They were like, it worked out, and they were like 20 quid with laces. I bought like 3 pairs of laces as well. It was brilliant.
Nice. That's the thing. I don't know why. I don't know what is like, not to be like, oh, I'll leave it, but it's like I always hear like Brits going to like Florida specifically.
It's because there's Disney. We went to Disney.
Yeah, that seems to be the trend. I have been to Florida a couple of times, but I don't know. Out of like everywhere in the US, like Florida wouldn't be necessarily my first pick.
Mm.
I don't know. There's nicer places to go.
Yeah.
In the US. I don't know. Quite a big fan of Chicago. I don't know. But I think we'll end it there. I think we have enough. Before I keep talking
we've said
about
enough.
cities.
We've said enough.
Before I keep talking about like cities in the US that I've been to / cities I would like to go. Never been to New York though. Surprisingly enough. Would
My
like to go
parents
to
went
New
to my
York.
mum's 40th, and I would quite like to go.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go together and we'll like do like Rangers and Islanders games. MSG. We'll shell out for the expensive tickets at MSG.
Oh, my bank account is crying at the thought.
Well, not right now.
No, she's even the thought of doing it at any point. She's sobbing, screaming, crying, begging for mercy.
Well, like when we got like real adult jobs and like real adult money. How's
You
that
say
sound?
that, but when I have real adult money, it's all going on Lego and jerseys. So,
Well, if we go to New York, you can go into the NHL store in New York City, which is apparently, I've heard, massive, and you can just buy all the jerseys you want there. This is how I get you. This is how I get you to come live.
this is how you get me things like flights to New York.
With that being said, thank you very much, everybody, for listening. You can follow the show on Twitter, or you can find us wherever you get your podcasts. That's cool. I'm sorry, my brain is still so fried. You can follow me and Mercy on Twitter at 60 Leaves for Mercy, at Fairview1 for myself. We will see you on Thursday with hopefully a much more put together and coherent episode when the Leafs, after the Leafs take on Vegas tomorrow and prior to the Leafs taking on the Arizona Coyotes on Thursday. This is feeling like deja vu. I feel like I've talked about these teams before. Hopefully the Leafs can extend their 7-game win streak to 8, perhaps. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Please.
Thank you guys for listening. We will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.